Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for joining us.
So this is our friend Gabby. For those of you who've never met the lovely Gabby, she is a grief coach, a death doula, a dreamwalker, Reiki practitioner. She's got like an arm's length of stuff that she can do.
Yeah, don't worry about my arm or your arm. Whose is longer?
Yeah, exactly. How I met Gabby is she runs a death cafe, is what it is called.
That's what it is.
And it started kind of like a joke, because not like what you're doing is a joke, but when we were there, we have a death doula, and then we had a retired RCMP officer, we had a priest, we had a witch. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, it's like, so it was just such a mishmash of people, and all just talking about our beliefs and what we think of where we go when we die. And it was very enlightening and encouraging. So tell us about a bit about your journey.
My journey. You know what? I don't even remember where it started. For some reason, maybe 10, 15 years, a little bit longer, when I started working healthcare. First, I did home care, then I moved to Calgary and home care. Somebody was telling me that the hospice, one of the local hospices, is looking for volunteers. So I thought, okay, I will try that. Why not? So I tried it and I just got hooked on it. Then I asked him, do you know if this hospice is working with CNAs, with certified nurses aides? So she asked, and she said, yeah, they do. I applied, I got the job. And
so you are a CNA as well?
I was a CNA. I still am a CA, and a certified nurses aide. I am.
So, she's working on the second arm. She might need a third arm.
I pretty much fell in love with it, and I will never, ever, ever forget my very first patient who had died. He just died, and he needed to be washed and get ready for the family to come. And I said, what am I going to do? I have never touched a dead body, or, it
would
was
be intimidating.
Yeah. But at the same time, we had a new director in our hospice, and for her, it was a first as well. So her and I did the cleaning up and dressing him, and I hate to say it, we had so much fun. We helped each other out with our first experience. It was more or less black humor, right?
Yeah.
I just fell in love with death and dying.
You were guiding patients through their last moments too.
Yes, I have done that as well.
And what is that like?
Amazing. It is amazing, honestly. The hospice I worked at, we had this lady, and she was maybe a week, 2, maybe 3 weeks away from dying, but she was so sick of living. So I went in there to check on her, and she takes my hand and she said, Gabby, I really want to die. Can you help me? No, not the way you think I can help you, but I can help you. What am I is a dreamwalker death. I talked her into a meditation, and I described where we're going through the garden, and the garden was just beautiful. You could hear 100 million bells, but you could hear every bell. You heard the birds sing. You saw the butterflies, the flowers. It was gorgeous. And so you walk through that garden, and on the left side, there is a big 100-year-old or older willow tree. Wow. And the branches, they touch the ground. And often I would go there and just sit in there and just watch people going by, crossing the bridge. So I took her in there, and I said, okay, you have a little bit of time to think about it and just watch everybody, and the way it will go when you're ready. Then you step on the bridge. The lady actually went onto the bridge, and she passed away.
Oh, that's so.
It was beautiful. This. And what the bridge is all about, it's a bridge shaped like that, right?
And what is it over, like a creek or something? Or just in your mind, you're going to a bridge to the beyond.
It's pretty, that's what it pretty much is. a creek, flowers, clouds, whatever you see.
So you're just
underneath.
so you have the patient almost in like a hypnotic state, and you're explaining the scenes around them, and they're getting immersed and lost.
They can smell the flowers and they can hear the bells, and you could see the smile on her face, and it's just so beautiful. So, and I explained to her, when you step on the bridge, so the bridge goes like this, and here's an angel, and here is you, and each step you take, the angel takes a step. And usually I guide them onto the bridge, right?
Yeah.
And when you're in the middle of the bridge, the angel will take over, and I have to leave.
And is there a particular angel, or is you just kind of leave it wide open to their interpretation?
Yes, probably whoever their guardian angel is. She died actually with a smile on her face, so it was beautiful.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do you feel that some people are hanging on because they feel like they've got some regrets, or there's some life experiences that they haven't worked through? Like, do you think that those are kinds of things that are holding them back?
You know, sometimes what holds people back is fear, because mostly due to childhood experiences, what they learn.
Religion has a big part.
I didn't want to say it, but
I will say it.
I can say it. Okay. Yes, religion, big time, because that's how I grew up, right? And if you don't go to church on Sundays, you're going to go to hell. You didn't pay your tithings, you're going to go to hell. You wear pants at church, everything you did, you go to hell.
Was judged.
And God isn't like that. No. And that was very, very often a reason why somebody didn't want to die. They were just scared to death.
I can just imagine how terrifying that would be.
Religious trauma is
real.
So
I know I have
real.
past lives, many of them with that, but not in this life.
Yeah. I go to church because I love my church. I love the people in there.
You're there for
passion.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
However, pretty much God has been in my life for a long time. So I know that He's there. The church is just a welcome addition. I worked in hospice care in Hawaii. That was a beautiful, beautiful experience, because that culture embraces death. You know, they're not, okay, now, and you have to wear black, and stop your kid from playing and crying and laughing. And Hawaiians are not that way. They embrace it. When grandpa is dying, you know, they take the baby, put it with grandpa on the bed, because it's a circle of life.
It's a celebration of life.
The whole family is there. They bring cots, they bring blankets, they bring food, lots of food. And the most important, they bring their ukulele.
Oh, nice.
And I have seen so many people dying while the family would sing and play music.
I would love to go out that way. Like, just knowing you're surrounded by your loved ones and you have music and joy around you. I want that.
Okay, make a note. Just write it down.
Make a note. I got you, girl. I want that. I got you.
I really believe somehow the universe sent me to Hawaii to experience that part of dying.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. We're all dying. And so this is the thing. I don't even do funerals. I can't do funerals because they're just so somber. They're just so meh for my energy. But I said to her, when it's a celebration of somebody's life, and it's more like not a party, but it is a party. It's a
I want to
celebrate. Right? I don't think we should be sitting there so somber. I mean, it's somebody's entire existence. It's something to just celebrate.
Yeah, like tell the stories. Yes. I want to hear the funny stories about that person I've never heard before. Yeah. And I want to have belly laughs and just like really feel the energy of that person and the positive energy of the people. Yeah. Like I do this hypnotherapy session with people where we create a candle together that is, I tie it through hypnosis to all the positive memories of a person. So I will sit down with somebody and I will ask them like for an hour straight, question after question about that particular person to the point where I feel like I actually know that person. And then we go into hypnosis, tie the candle to it. And then they have this candle that they can light. And whenever they're missing them or feeling like they need that positive energy of that person again, it has really helped some people. It really has. Yes. Grief is such a funny thing. It really is.
Well, you know what, grief comes in different shapes and sizes, right, and forms. Like, just because in Hawaii everybody's having fun on playing music and singing, it doesn't mean that they're not grieving. But not around the person. As soon as the person died, yes, you know, then the tears come out. I usually would cry not because the person died, but because it was so beautiful, the music and the singing, and oh my goodness, Hawaiians are so talented when it comes to music. That would make me cry, not that the person died. Reiki practitioner, I have been since 2005, something like that, a long time. I watched somebody putting his hand on a person's shoulder, and she said something about, you know, lots of tension and stress and pain. And then the lady started crying and said, "How did you know that?" Afterwards, I talked to them a little bit. They gave me their card and they said, "You know what? Why don't you come and take a Reiki course from us?" My husband back then and we both went. I had no clue what she was saying. I was so frustrated. I almost cried because she said, "Okay, you put your hands there. So when do I know to take them off?" "Well, you will feel it." "Well, how? Explain that to me." So when we got home, I was so frustrated. And he said, "Okay, Gabby, let me explain that to you." So he worked with me and he made me see and feel what I needed to feel. It was great. And then the hospital I was just talking about, there was a little lady and she was a Reiki Master. I talked to her one day and I told her I was so frustrated. She said, "Gabby, come to my house." We worked together and she really helped me to see what I needed to see, what I needed to feel.
So how did you know you were doing it?
When usually, first of all, when I put my hands on someone to get the energy down and heal whatever might need to be healed, I also would get pictures in my head. It's kind of their whole life or important parts of their life. I would see them.
Yeah.
And also, even if I wouldn't see them, because sometimes people put up brick walls,
Yeah.
right? You start to get a glimpse and then they put up walls. You can't see anything. However, I feel it in my hands. For some of them, the hands get really, really warm. Actually, not the hands, but the energy they feel.
Yeah.
They get tingly. They get sore. There's all kinds of emotions in my hands.
Are you describing what you're seeing while you're doing Reiki on somebody, or you wait until afterwards and then kind of have a little chit chat?
Yes, I always wait till after. Even so, I have gotten in trouble with the universe for that. I had a gentleman, and I did what I needed to do. I got told the joints are hurting, and so on. And then I got to his left knee, trying to go up because I couldn't feel anything, and I hear in my head, "Ask him about his left knee." In my head, I answered back, "Yeah, but not now."
Doing something.
I didn't want to interrupt the quiet. Right?
Yes.
So I started to move away, and again, ask him about the left knee. "Not now." So I finished. When I was finishing, we talked a little bit, and I said, "Hey, what's going on with your left knee?" He said, "You know what, Gabby? A week ago, I was not able to walk. I could not have come here."
Really?
Yeah. Well, that definitely could wait until I was done with my Reiki, right? So I didn't have to interrupt anything.
So good. It's so good. So you say you channel the universe. Do you channel anybody in particular? Like, does anyone step forward and tell you who they are, or it's just source energy for you?
I have one person. She's grieving her husband, and whenever she is near me or I talk to her, her husband comes through. I had one lady in Calgary. Her best friend died of breast cancer. She wanted a Reiki session and kind of connect with her friend. I did my thing, and then all of a sudden, I felt hands on my hand when I had my hands over her heart. So I could feel another pair of hands. And then this person, she said, "Hey, tell my friend that she wouldn't be so sad for me dying if she would see how beautiful it is over here." Okay, I will do that. In my head, I said that. So we were done. Now, friend, she was crying, of course, right? With a memory of her friend that was deceased. And I told her, I said, "You know, your friend," I said, was it Monica. She said, yeah, how did you know? I didn't know that lady. So well, she told me. So, and she said that you wouldn't be so sad because of her dying if you would see how beautiful it is. My friend said, okay, when did you hear that? I said, well, when I had my hand kind of over your heart. She said, you know what? My friend was saying, hey, why don't you come over here? It is so nice over here.
Come dine with me.
Exactly.
It's so good.
She had the same connection. Yes, that was incredible.
It's amazing.
I think it's just being open to receive the things that come in and talk about it after. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. There's no harm, no foul, but most of the time, honestly, it resonates and people are looking at you like you're spooky.
Yeah. It's a beautiful gift to give to somebody that, like, they know for sure it was their loved one on the other side that was being channeled through. And there is life after death.
Like, you know, like, just to be able to give that. Honestly,
Honestly,
why I became a hypnotherapist. I was really big into Dr. Michael Newton. He wrote a book called A Journey of Souls. And it was just story after story of the afterlife, because he pushed the hypnosis onto, instead of usually when, okay, somebody dies, let's move on to the next thing. He's like, okay, so is there anybody there with you? And pushing it further. So now where are you going? And then it was like 1,000 different people all had the same experience,
Dolores
the
Cannon.
same stories.
Dolores Cannon for me.
Yeah,
Exactly the same
Dolores
thing.
Cannon. I took the past life regression. I actually thought I was going to become a death doula. I wanted to be able to help people realize that this is not the end all be all. This is like, we're trying on a suit for a short amount of time. You know, we're having an adventure. We're at a theme park and it's called Earth.
What lessons did I sign up for? Let's get those checked off so we can check out.
Exactly.
And sometimes you say, I think I'm in the wrong story.
Oh, absolutely. Did I really sign up?
I was just going to say, did I really sign up for this? What is happening?
Yeah.
Like, was I thinking straight over there? Yeah. How easy did I think this was going to be?
You know, the thing is, everybody has that gift, right?
They do.
Everybody. Anybody is everybody. You just have to be open to it, right?
Absolutely.
Things that people don't understand, they tend to shy away from because it's scary. Like
and it's not socially acceptable either. Like society,
that's the key.
That's the main thing, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, love to see that moment when you're talking to somebody who's not that spiritual, and then it's almost like you see a little light go on, and then it's like you talk to them a couple months later and they're now on this spiritual journey.
What ages did you teach?
I was teaching as young as 7. I was doing P classes.
Because I wanted to say, kids, they're so different. They're so open. They're open to
They
it.
haven't been jaded by life yet.
Yeah. And the thing is too, you know, it depends on the parents. If the kid says, hey, you know what, just go away, my invisible friend is sitting here, whatever his name is, right?
Yeah.
And parents say, hey, you know what, you're old enough now. You don't have invisible friends anymore. But it's only invisible to them.
Yes.
They are perfectly visible to the child.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not see Henry? I see energies. I'll be like, oh, there's a dude over there. Nobody else knows the dude is there, except for once in a while, a few of my friends who are tuned in will be like, hey, there's somebody over there. You get people looking at you sideways.
And that's the thing is, like you said, everyone is gifted. Like everyone, people just have so tuned out. And it is because of your parents, it's generational stuff. You tuned it all out.
Gabby, you are a very unusual soul.
Oh.
You are very special. You don't see people of your generation so just open. I don't come across that very often. So I just think you're beautiful. You're a beautiful soul. I love it.
You know, I had premonitions even when I was young, but back then I didn't know what they were. Like, often I would see myself driving a car. I lived in Germany. I didn't need a car. I never had a driver's license, but I constantly saw myself driving a car. And then all of a sudden I came to Canada. Guess what? I was driving a car.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's there were quite a few of things like that I would see, and all of a sudden, if it was years later, they happened.
I went to a class over at Kismet Co. And it was a group, I think, of like 8 ladies who all sat around and were talking about their dreams. And we did a little meditation beforehand. And it was so interesting to get a group of spiritual women just walking everybody through what their dreams could mean based off what's going on in their lives. It like highly recommend. Highly recommend. It was really good. I feel like I met some really interesting people. And of course, me being me, there was one lady and all I saw was just blue glowing around her throat. I'm like, so I just, me, point at her and go, hey, there's something going on here. Block it. And she looks at me and she's like, yeah. It was really funny. But I'm just not afraid to say the things that I see.
But you're supposed to, because if you don't, sometimes I don't. This one lady, she came for a Reiki session and her husband connected with me. She talked to me later and said, next time when my husband talks to you, I don't want to know because I don't believe in that stuff. If I don't pass it on, he would pester me for days and days and days. I have to pass it on.
They can be so persistent. I've gotten a lot better at putting up my boundaries and being like, I am closed right now.
My room is off limits. When I'm in this space,
exactly. Yeah. I call in my guides.
It's Michael and Metatron. I'm just like, pull the blankets over. I'm like, please protect me right now. Seal it up. I think that's gross though.
I have to share a beautiful story in Hawaii. My husband and I, we rented a farmhouse. We had separate bedrooms because I worked night shift. Every so often at night, we would hear footsteps on the gravel. So we heard him. He heard him. I heard him, but we didn't know that we both heard him, and we didn't talk about it. And then one night, I felt that he was in the kitchen and coming towards our bedroom doors. The next morning, I said, "Oh, were you hungry last night?" He said, "No, why?" I said, "You were in the kitchen." No, I wasn't in the kitchen. So we started talking about the footsteps. Usually I'm pretty good to communicate with spirits, right? But this one I could hear, and maybe he could hear me, but I couldn't understand what he was saying. So I called a friend of mine, and she came over, and I told her the story. She said, "Yeah, he's right here." I said, "Okay, good. So why can't I hear him?" And she explained to me, the different frequency, right? You are here, he's here, vice versa. So you can hear each other kind of, but you miss the communication part.
Yeah.
I said, "So what does he want? Why was he sneaking around?" She said, "No, he just wanted to be mindful. He didn't want to scare you." I said, "So he was in the kitchen, right?" She confirmed that. I said, "So why didn't he knock and come into my bedroom to talk to me?" He didn't want to cross boundaries. Okay, what does he want? What can I do for him? He heard from the universe or everybody else that I'm able to guide people to the bridge to cross over. So he was looking for me so that I could help him to cross over. We did a meditation. I was able to communicate with him and I sent him where he needed to go. And we never heard footsteps again.
I love that.
That was so beautiful.
I feel like this is very ancestral for you, and you obviously are very old soul because for her to be coming in at the time frame that you have with the gifts that you do, it's definitely like many lifetimes that you've been doing this. Do you feel that this is something that you've been doing for many lifetimes?
I don't feel it, but somebody told me. So when I became a Theta Healer,
okay,
and so a friend of mine went to a Theta Healer, and she told me about her and said, "Oh, I was curious." So I said, "Okay, I spent the money, I go there." And the first thing she said, "You know what? You are here, and you have been always helping people, saving lives." And this time I was a lifeguard. I said, "Yeah, I'm a lifeguard. I save lives." She said, No, that's not it." Mm-hmm. She said, "It's not so much lives. It's souls."
Mm-hmm. A soul doula.
No idea.
Soul doula.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
I've covered Macy's.
Yeah, I need another business card.
Yeah. When I first met you, I heard soul doula. Like the death or the birth. Now you're a soul doula. Yeah.
I like that.
I love
Actually-
it. To me, it's so unusual
Mm.
for somebody your age to just be so open.
Yeah, and what we mean by that is like it's feeling right now like the collective consciousness is feeling safe
Mm-hmm.
to have the remembrance of who we are, and to, you know, you go back many lifetimes, all the persecutions and all the different ways that, you know, we had to hide our gifts or who we were spiritually or for whatever reasons. And it's just like finally now is like feeling like a time where it feels safe for us to like just be authentically, whether you're, you know, transgender or like whatever it is, like
Just be
right
you.
and now who you authentically are in any way, shape, or form feels safe. So a couple of generations even ago, I mean, it wouldn't have felt safe to like be spiritually open or to be doing the things that you're doing.
Did you ever feel any persecution or anything?
Oh, absolutely. I'm very not afraid. I'm not afraid of anything, but I'm very uncomfortable with fire. And I always said I have the feeling that in one of my lives I was burned as a witch.
Absolutely.
I so feel
So
that.
I have psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis, and I was actually told once that is a remnant of me being burned as a witch.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and that checks.
And it does. I mean, we talked how it's from my
Jesus.
dad's side, and my dad is head to toe psoriasis and thick. Like my dad's head to toe. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
It comes from, my gifts come from my dad's lineage.
Yeah.
For sure.
What's your gift?
Well, I would say that my strongest gifts are clairaudient and clairvoyance.
Okay.
But I do, like you, I'm a Reiki Master and I'm a herbalist and I do energy healing, but I like to teach people. So right now, my main focus is helping other people clear up their ancestral karmic contracts. That's my life purpose. Yeah. So I'm really working right now through a few things that I will be soon sharing. But yeah, my sole purpose is to help other people walk that path and to really clear up their ancestral karmic.
I'm a joy bringer.
Yeah, she's a joy, and that's actually it's in your soul blueprint. I'm sure that's no, it literally is. I would just say that's my main purpose. I like to be in the shadow stuff. I like really. I mean, Jen is the light, and I'm the. I don't want to say that I'm the dark, but we have that polarity where my purpose is really like working through all that mucky shit, all that deep, dark, karmic luck. Because I don't want to come back. Like, I'm here to clean up my lineage.
And I'm letting her out like, hey, let's go have some fun.
Yes. And I do need the fun. And I absolutely need that joy. Purpose is to, like, help other people, like, who are right where they're at, go, how the flip do I move forward? Like, how do I move through this? Because they're also a very old soul who doesn't want to come back. Yeah. And they're also here, like me, to, like, clean it up. So those 7 generations before me and those 7 generations after me don't have to worry about it, you know?
Yeah. See, I got told once that this life is the end of my karma.
Totally me. See, this is why you're with me, Les.
That's
totally where I am.
Yeah. And I'm glad. I don't want to be here anymore.
No, and these are the souls. These are absolutely the souls that I'm meant to be working with. And so it's like, right? Absolutely the soul I'm meant to be working with.
You can't see my goosebumps on my cheeks even.
Because we've had this conversation. This is literally why I'm here, because there's so many of us who have come back just to like do that real deep work to like clean it all up so we can lift up this consciousness and so that we can move forward. So the next generations don't have to like be down here and stuck on this hamster wheel anymore. You know? So there's a whole bunch of us that are here to clean up this stuff, and we're done. Like, I'm just like, I am done. I have done my, as I said to Jen, like, I'm done. I know it seems like I'm stuck in it, but I'm not. I'm here to help. Yeah. But I'm done with it. Like, I've done all of it. Like, I'm ready to move forward.
Yeah. I think I'm moving next, not back into Earth, but I think I'm moving more into a creator space, if that makes any sense. That's what I feel like I'm graduating into. Yeah, I don't know why I feel like that's what I'm graduating into.
I'm going to sit on a council for a little while. I love teaching. I'm going to go sit on a council.
I got friends on a council.
I am. There's many councils. I'm going to go sit on a council for a little while.
And I will be the old wise grandmother and, give you girls advice. And
So if this is your last time on earth, what do you feel that your soul is going to move on to? What is your next adventure?
my next adventure, you know what? I'm going to go off. I am not going to cross the bridge right away. I don't have time for that. I'm going to go off and learn just what I do here on earth. But I will learn things that I have never been able to learn, if it's skateboarding or piano or anything like that.
So when your soul jumps out of this body, you're like, I'm not crossing that bridge. I'm going to stay around.
Yep.
I'm going to be a ghosty for a while.
That's right.
I love this. That is
different
I'm gonna
perspective.
go
I've
rip
never
some
heard that one.
shit
I
up
love
as a
it.
ghost for a while.
And so good. It's so good.
That I never like. I'm stunned right now. I love this. Her arms get longer.
I think I just want to be like the decision maker who gets to get a meat suit next time.
So
Yeah.
you want to be like helping people get assigned to their next
Yes,
life.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love
a little
that.
counsel. Just because there's only so many meat suits available.
That's true.
right.
That's
So yeah, it would be fun though, right? Because just to see all of where their soul is and to be like, okay, you want to learn what life lessons and what are you going to clean up? Now you can wait. I like you. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I pick you. I want to watch that. We're gonna find out eventually. We are gonna find out.
Numbers this shit.
You're gonna be doing your life review, and they're gonna be like, "Remember when you said this?
Yeah.
You applied for the job. You got it."
Didn't you know while you said that? We already created the contract. You are signed up.
What do you want to do?
I want to be a creator. I want to create moments and experiences, almost like create the storylines for people, like almost be like a bit of a script writer. You're gonna do this, you're gonna come into this, and then we'll move you into
So that's a
this.
part of somebody's soul team. Do you think being part of someone's soul
Oh,
team?
I know.
Yeah.
We're on a
I
soul
know. Well,
team.
that's
Like,
what
yeah, I think Gabby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're part of our soul family.
Well, I
Just so you know.
truly do. I
Yeah.
do believe in soul families.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And I do believe, like, life after life, we're all working
Yes.
together
Yeah.
to try and help each other and help somebody through. Like, I don't think that I had to come back.
No, none of us had to. None of us. We chose. That's what I said. We
Yeah.
chose to come back, and I'm helping. But this is the last fucking time I'm helping.
I know, like, I feel like I volunteer as tribute. Like,
Yeah,
that's what I feel like I did.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, because they were looking for volunteers to come and do a
boy.
little guidance.
They were
You
looking-
volunteered.
I did.
Very old souls.
Yeah.
Very, very old souls with lots of life experience. That's what I mean. So an old soul is just somebody who has incarnated many lifetimes.
Mhm.
No better than anyone else. It's just that we have done this rodeo show a few more times than a younger soul. And so as a very old soul with many lifetimes under your belt, yeah, you would sign up because it's just so heavy and so dense. And things just keep repeating. Like generation after generation. And I mean, you look around you, it's the same shit generation after generation. So they're like, fuck, we're never going to advance. Yeah. It's declining. It's not going anywhere. We're not even staying stagnant. Yeah. We need some of you guys to.
Like, I feel like I'm actually, it's almost like a spider web of connection where I can pull on a string and be like, hey, everybody. We don't have to do this again. I've solved this problem. Yeah. So let's skip. We've all leveled up. Yeah. And then if somebody who I'm connected to on that spider web is like, hey, everybody, I dealt with this. We've leveled up. I feel there's that connection, and I feel like there's rapid
We're bringing that whole collective consciousness, like I said, like the whole, that's what we're here for. Yeah. And everything that you heal, everything that you work through, even though they're still not vibrating vibrationally at our frequency, we're still elevating everything. And that's kind of our purpose, right? It's like being that light bringer. Yeah. And elevating everybody, even on a subconscious level. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
And planting those seeds. Like I'm a master gardener.
Always.
I love to plant a seed, and just a seed of thought for somebody who's struggling through something. Like, just, hey, have you thought about it from this angle? Have you thought about this? And I get, oh, no. And it's like, okay, but you know what? I just planted a seed and you are going to think about it. And then, you know what? Maybe you might have an aha moment, or maybe that seed just isn't ready to germinate and grow.
Yeah.
But
sometimes they even do subconsciously and they don't even realize that you've planted the seed, you know?
Yes.
It's not even that they actually have to do anything with it or hear it or feel it or sense it. It's there. You've planted it energetically. And that's all.
Like when I talk to people, it's like I feel like I'm sometimes digging in a garden. Like I'll ask rapid fire question after question after question, just trying to understand their current perspective.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. It's a current perspective. Perspective change all the time, constantly.
I can see heaven is going to be busy after the three of us are gone. I can tell you. What gets to me is the way certain people are nowadays. You know, it's all me, and it's possessions and money, and it makes it so hard, and it makes it so hard to fight against all of that, right?
Yes.
So, and you know, after we are done here, you go to heaven, you don't have that.
I can't take any of the shit with me.
Yeah.
No.
I really can't.
Yeah.
I actually, it took me a long time to figure that out. I will not lie. I feel that I spent a large majority of my life slaving away, working, and just doing everything I could to have more and more stuff. And it's so frustrating when you look back. Like, I've got a closet full of purses that some of them are $500 each. Like, what the? Why did I need that? And well, like, what was it healing in me? And you know, like, you think about that. As you get older, I think you really start to figure out that you don't need all this shit. I want to have experiences. I don't want stuff. I want experiences. I want to check stuff off my list that I've done this, I tried this, oh, I learned this. I think you figure it out eventually that it's more about your experiences.
Again, those are soul contracts. Like, it's total soul lessons. And so when your soul has that growth and that healing, that's when you're like, the light bulb goes off, and it's like all of those external validations and societal expectations of what your worth is equals all of this materialistic stuff. And yeah, once you are finally able to feel it and heal all of those wounds, because that's all it is, are those life experiences that make you go, I didn't have anything. I wasn't given this or that or whatever. And so you're trying to like prove your worth to people, to experiences, to whatever. Like, I'm of value because I have X, Y, and Z. Right? It's just, it's a soul contract, and when you heal it and you can release that.
I'm a collector. Yeah. I love to collect things. If I suddenly have something new that interests me, I'm collecting it. I've been catching myself. It's no longer something that is unconsciously happening. I actually recognize it now. So now it's a choice.
Yeah.
So now I'm do I really need 15 of these?
That's right.
So my choice now is, no, I don't need that. But you know what? Now, why don't I start collecting experiences? And that is what I want to do.
Spirit has explained to me that they only speak the language of emotions. And so for me, that's what our life lessons are to learn all of those different types of emotions. And maybe this lifetime, I want to learn jealousy. I might want to learn compassion. I might want to learn empathy. And so it's the polarity of what those things are that probably you would have experienced in your very younger years, or like those preteen years, right? It's the polarity of what you want to learn. And so it's exactly what you're saying. I mean, to me, this is hell, right? It's like, you don't get to experience all of those emotions on the other side. They don't exist.
Really? See, I love the human experience. To me, it's like, I get to cry. I get to physically feel my body. I am sad or I am happy.
Yes.
I get to actually physically feel it. And you don't get to do that.
And that's the gift. And that's what life is about. And so it's like, what emotions, because we don't get those on the other side. The only thing we have on the other side is unconditional love. It's like that. It's like you said, peace and tranquility. It's like, unconditional love is the only thing you feel on the other side. You don't feel jealousy. You don't feel envy. You don't feel any other emotion. You feel nothing. And so the whole thing about coming into a life is to experience emotion. That's what Spirit's explained.
Yeah.
And so what have you chosen in this lifetime to experience?
I
Do you
feel
know
like
what I
I
mean?
experienced all of the really hard emotions
Mhm.
very early in life.
Mhm.
And now I'm choosing
Mhm.
to have way more positive emotions.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there are days where shit blows up.
Yeah.
And something goes off the rails. And, you know, crying, just releasing the pain that you feel through your tears, it's so healing. And you know, like, I think about when I was younger how I wouldn't let anybody see me cry.
Mhm.
And now it's like I will blubber and bawl if a good commercial comes on, and I don't care who's looking at me because I'm gonna experience that emotion.
And you know that I do that too. Like I said, in Hawaii, I cry with people because of the way it is, but it's not so much the emotion that I have. It's that other people try to throw at me those emotions. You know, the again, the anger, the animosity, the jealousy, the whatever it is. You know, like
What's the polarity of those emotions? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so to experience compassion, you had to experience whatever death. Say, like,
Yeah.
do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so what is the polarity of all of those emotions? So, like you're saying, you've got all those deep, dark emotions, and so now you want to experience the polarity, but you wouldn't be able to experience the polarity without experiencing this
I wouldn't
first.
appreciate it like I do now.
Exactly
Like,
the whole
I
lesson.
yeah, like
the life lesson.
if you crawl out of a hole, let me tell you, you don't want to go back in there. You want to feel the sun on your face, and you appreciate the sun on your face. And you know, like my husband and I, we say this all the time. Like, oh, we kind of wish we knew each other when we were young, but no, we don't. No. Because I needed to have all of my experiences. He needed to have his. So that we would really appreciate what each other brings.
The gratitude.
Yes.
You don't have gratitude if you haven't experienced
That's
this.
right.
Exactly.
Right? It's that, the polarity.
If you never love, you don't have jealousy, or jealousy if you never love. Right. So, absolutely.
Oh, you'll get love. Yeah. In order to get love, you need to experience this birth. Yeah. And that's the life lessons, right? And we don't understand that while we're in the muck of it.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. But you're so like, you know, tower moments where it feels like your life is just falling apart. And then as time goes on, because time really does heal all. And when time goes on and you look back on that moment, sometimes you look on those moments and go, oh man, what a gift.
Yes.
Like that changed everything. That moment changed it for me. Like I actually was on the wrong path.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just being able to look on it with gratitude and be thankful that I can do hard things. And you know what? Okay, well, as you know, I'm always about my future self. How can I help her? What am I doing today for my future self? And I don't understand why more people don't live like that, because I think about all of the hard shit I did in my past. I'm so grateful. Yeah. Like that girl, she was awesome. Not every choice, not every decision was always a good one, but you know what? I learned and learned. And I wasn't afraid to put myself out there and have the experience. I feel actually very blessed to grow up in the time that I did before social media. I am like so thankful, because I feel like a lot of people are getting lost. Like they come here, they have a plan, but then they're stuck doing the same thing every day. You know what I mean? They're not living.
I just had this conversation because, like, my grandchildren, like, they are, like, my Olivia, she's not going to know anything but AI. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if you think about it, AI is just beginning, but by the time that she's of age to, like, that's all she's going to know. Yeah. She's a year and a half. You know what I mean? So in 5 more years, 10 more years, AI is going to take over, and that's all she's going to know.
I feel like I got to really live.
Yeah. Absolutely agree.
And look at your age and look at my age. I lived.
You like again, the lady with the longest arms in the world. Like you have so many experiences. Oh, yeah. But you allowed yourself to have experiences. I don't really watch TV.
Yeah. Lisa.
No, same.
It's very old soul thing.
It must be because it's like I feel like I'm losing time. I don't have time to watch.
I say it's
Yeah.
Dolores Cannon, she in her course, there is the study that they did where they put wires to people's brain activity, and they had to be in a certain state of mind to keep the TV on. The TV kept shutting off because you just drift off.
Yeah,
And you're
totally me.
you're off in another
Yeah.
you're off in another universe.
Yeah.
They could not
So pointless.
they
for
couldn't
me.
make it 3 minutes.
Wow.
3
So
minutes.
good.
So like it's so interesting, you know, like
That's cool.
what are you doing? If you think about it too, when you're in that theta state, whatever you're watching, that program on TV is programming that story for you.
Yeah.
Like, no, thank you. I don't like to watch news.
You're in the
Watch-
same company.
I don't watch news.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, like there's no cable. There's no none of that shit in my
No,
house.
we don't have cable either.
No.
What's the point?
So what has death taught you about life?
Death has taught me about life that death is not the end. Death is the beginning, and you need the death to experience life, and you need the life to experience death.
Mhm.
So death doesn't frighten me. If you say, Gabby, June 1st you have to die, I would say, why do I have to wait another week?
I know.
So death is not bad.
A lot of people really understand that feeling. Like for me, I'm not afraid to check out because I know that on the other side, I'm going to see everybody again. I think what I would be more upset about is the stuff I didn't get to experience while I was here.
But as soon as you check out, you don't remember that anymore. So who cares?
Well, you know what? That's true.
I had a past life dream and it was so surreal. I was in a tsunami. And as soon as the wave came over me, it was so bright inside the water because the sun was shining in. And I realized that this was it. Like, I literally was so pissed off. I was pissed, actually. I said to when I woke up and I told Steve about this dream, I was like, it was so real. Like, it was so real. And all I could think to myself was, are you kidding me? That's it? This one is over?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how I felt in this life.
Yes.
So I think sometimes, like, you just get to, and just like, man, exactly. I didn't get to experience the things I came to complete, you know? But your soul does have the checkout time, but you don't realize what the checkout time is.
One person at the hospice when I worked here in Saskatoon, I looked after her, and she was such a sweet lady, 84, 85. And I said, well, you know what? I'm off tomorrow, but I will see you in a couple of days. She said, no. And I know that people know when they die.
Yes.
But she didn't look like it. I said, what do you mean? You're good. She said, no. I signed up for maid, but the hospice was the wrong religion to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So she was there until the date came, and then she had to move to where she would die.
Mm-hmm.
84 years old. And I told her, I said, you're my hero. And then she told me that 2 of her daughters had died of cancer.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't want to do that.
If you could just take charge and be like, okay, there are no more adventures to come. There's no more experiences that I feel I need to have.
Quality of life.
Yeah. Quality of life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm actually a big fan of
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because like die with dignity.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's just it. All the people that I have seen dying before they died and they wanted to go. And so many said, you know what, I wished I could just die. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you have a supportive family, hey, go for it, right?
I want the party. I want the ukuleles. I want the
Absolutely.
I want the family
I want the
singing.
party hat and the wings, right?
I'm gonna wear pixie wings and
Yeah.
have my elf ears on and be like, let's go, I'm ready.
Absolutely. You know, in Hawaii, a lot of people have the celebration of life before they die because they said, hey, when I'm dead, I don't know who's here. And that's part of what the death doula does, right?
Yeah.
So I can arrange the celebration of life. And
What is a death doula? What does that job look like?
death doula, we do a lot of things actually. So just like when you're a birth doula, you make mom comfortable, right? You
Right.
have a nice lighting, music, and smells, and whatever there is. Husband is there. And as a death doula, I kind of do the same.
Okay.
So I make sure that the person that's dying is comfortable. However, my job starts before, because maybe there might be family member they are estranged with. Would you like me to contact him for you or her for you? A lost friend they want to find.
So you're like, you actually turn into a little detective once in a while, finding people.
If I have to, I
Yeah.
can do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
If they don't have any family, I can help them with funeral arrangements.
Okay.
I can arrange the celebration of life. And then also when it gets closer and the family is there, and I have done that a couple of times at the hospice, and family members, there is the person that's dying, and the family member,
Yeah.
he promised me the car. No, I was supposed to get the car, and I have kicked him out of the room. So that's what I do too. So
You're just keeping the ambiance as
security
like
guard too.
okay,
Yes,
ambassador.
then I asked him, hey, you know what kind of music would you like? We had a lady in Hawaii, and he said, you know what, she really liked Elvis. And hey, I had a whole collection of Elvis music when people were about to die, and I brought one in. It was "Hold My Hand, Precious Lord." So I put that in there, and I wanted to leave him alone with his wife dying. I said, you know what, just let me know when you're ready. And she listened to the music, and she died, which was beautiful. And then he called me, he said, Gabby, you have to see that. So I came in there, and she died with a big smile on her face.
Aw, see?
So it's yeah,
like death can be really beautiful.
absolutely.
I don't feel it has to be so scary. But if you can actually actively arrange, and that's what it sounds like a death doula is actively arranging a peaceful exit for yourself. Like, I love that. I feel like to have a peaceful death is such a blessing.
You know,
It's a gift.
It is.
The most beautiful deaths I experienced. I love to give foot rubs to my patients, and everybody loves foot rubs, right?
Yes.
And this lady, oh my gosh, little lady, she had cancer, and she was withering away. I asked her if I could give her a foot rub, and of course she wanted a foot rub. So I was rubbing her feet, and she said, Gabby, can you tell me something about Jesus? I said, what do you want to know? It's one of my favorite topics, right? So I gave her the foot rub, and we talked about Jesus, and we both cried, and we both laughed. And so I was done with the foot rub, and she said, can I give you a hug? Well, of course you can give me a hug. I gave her a hug, and she died. That was so beautiful. That was so beautiful. You know, that was the best death I have been involved with.
So it's almost like instead of looking at it as going into something hard that you have to deal with every day, and it's almost like you get to be with somebody in a very special moment.
It's just privilege.
Yes.
It's a real
And
privilege.
absolutely, it would be.
Yeah.
What a perspective.
I can tell you, my husband, I learned that his heart had stopped beating a few times. So I decided, okay, I have to go. I have to go over and see him. So I got to the hospital, and he was lying there. So I took his hand, and I said, hey, I heard that your heart stopped beating a few times already. So he nodded, he squeezed my hand, and I said, do you remember anything?
What did you see? It's so good. Blink once for yes, twice for no.
But he nodded, and he squeezed my hand a little bit harder, right? And then I said, well, so when your heart stopped beating, did you see something beautiful? And he had tears running down his face, and he really squeezed my hand. And at this moment, I knew I do not have to be afraid of dying. Now, the three of us go to heaven and raise hell, right?
I love that.
That is so true.
I love that. That is so
That
true.
sounds about right.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a wild party. I think I got goosebumps. There you go. Do you need some more tea, Gabby?
Sure.
How
Please.
is okay? Speaking of the tea, I got this tea from a special friend. Her name is Malika, it's one of her tea blends that she has foraged and grown. And I just want to give her a little shout out because I'm enjoying this tea.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Wild Ancestry Nourishment is what her company is. But she's actually the chanting queen. So if you ever want to do a chanting circle, she's a great gal for that. This is really good tea.
It is very good tea.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melita.
Yeah. Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Ooh.
How often do you have your death cafe?
It is once a month, every second Thursday at the church.
What church?
It's LDS on Fairmont Drive.
At what time?
From 6 to 8.
Okay. So if anybody is interested,
Yep.
go check it out because I've been and it is an experience. And you do all walks of life are in there with so many different perspectives. It was so interesting to me.
And sometimes people get a little bit, they're hesitant because it's at the church, but it's just the venue that I have, right? My church is giving me a free venue.
Yes.
You do not have to belong to the church. You don't have to believe. You just have to come and join our
And does it
Cafe.
cost anything?
No, it's free of charge.
Why wouldn't you?
That's amazing.
Yeah, and you can bring some homemade cookies. That would be nice. And as for helping people with grief, you know, we talk about grief in our Cafe as well, and everybody grieves different.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, I went for 3 years. I went through a very long, very dark tunnel, and I just couldn't get out of it. And then there were people that would say, "Okay, Gabby, you keep going. I wait at the end of the tunnel." And then there were people that said, "Give me your hand, and I'm gonna walk with you through the tunnel." And those people are still with me.
That's true.
And
some people, grief really makes people uncomfortable.
Absolutely, they don't know what to say, right?
It's hard to. You're thinking like, how can I help this person? What can I do for them? And you're constantly spinning, and you almost feel helpless because you don't know what to do for that person.
If you ask, "Do you need anything?" What do you think you would say? No, I'm fine. So, like my experience, all those tiny little things in Hawaii after my husband died, people would just come. They wouldn't call and say, "Hey, Gabby, can I bring you anything? Do you need anything?" No, they would just come and have food, and they have dishes, and they have napkins, and they have drinks, and they just come and show up just out asking.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the secret. So if I ask you, "Do you need anything?" Well, you would say no, but you know what? Be a little bit
You almost have
intuitive,
to
right?
be like a little intrusive. Like just
Look at the fridge.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just like show up. Just show up.
Yeah. And just bring some food. When was the last time you ate anything? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or you know what? I booked us a mani pedi. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay.
Just little things,
someone's
right?
spirit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or who's cleaning? Like no one's thinking about cleaning. You're in your grief.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe laundry needs to get done. Floors need to be
Absolutely.
swept. Yeah.
So I
just
take
little
you for
things.
mani pedi, and you start cleaning. So you come home to a clean house. All those little things. But asking, I found that often doesn't work.
No.
That's
Do
almost,
you want me to come over? No, I want to be alone. But you know what? If I just ring the doorbell or even have a key for your house, I just come in, knock at the door. Yep, I'm here. And
yeah. Like I'm gonna help you get off the floor here.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think
it's
too, like
Nice.
community is so much different than it used to be.
that
That everybody is so segregated and in their own homes and things like that, where it's almost like they shut themselves in because they feel like they don't want to be a burden and they don't want to have everybody witnessing their emotions and what they're going through. And I think you have to like just kind of forgive the experience you're going through and how you're going through it. You're gonna experience how you experience it, and it's nobody else to judge.
Everyone grieves so differently.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We were talking earlier about the materialism and like all of the things that we collect in our lives, and it truly is at the end of the day the only thing that we leave is how we make people feel and the memories that we create together.
Yes.
And then like people really, if they just honestly, focus on that. That's the truth. That's what your life is.
How do you want to be remembered?
Absolutely. It's how you make a person feel.
Yes.
Is the number one thing that your life is about. Just how do you make people feel?
You know what? I ask a question sometimes too at the desk cafe. How do you want to be remembered? And everybody, you know, my kindness, my cheerfulness, whatever. And I think, you know what? I don't really need to be remembered because the memory goes only so far. Kids, maybe the grandkids, and then it's done anyways. So
It's the people in your life. It's you. It's your children.
Yeah.
So what did he leave you guys with? How did he make you feel?
What is almost the legacy? Like, what lessons have they carried with them, and now their children are carrying, and their children are
because it really does.
It's I don't know.
You know what I want people to think about me?
Uh-oh.
I want people to think of me as just up for anything. Okay, I really look forward to grandchildren. I want my grandchildren, I want them to come to grandma's house and not know what was real or what was fantasy. I'm going to have my husband pulling strings like the Wizard of Oz, and they're, you know what I mean? To be like, "Prah!" And, you know, I want them to just have their little minds blown. Like, and I just want them later in life to think of me as like just something so unusual. Does that make sense?
Yeah, my eccentric grandma.
Yes, they tell stories of their grandmother who would make mud pies and suddenly it would turn into actual cake. Like, I'm gonna do that. Okay, guys, you know, like, we're gonna make a mud pie and then I'll swap it out. Let's put it in the oven, and then when they go out and they're waiting, I'm gonna turn it into a real cake in the oven, and they're just gonna be like, wow. Like,
Oh boy.
And then they go home and they say, "Mom, look, I can make us a Mom's finding mud pies in the oven."
I want to unleash their imaginations. And that's what I want. Actually, I want people to unleash their imagination when they're with me. Like, dream. Just do it. Like, let's have fun.
A lot of people can't do that anymore, dreaming.
Because like, everybody's so serious.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Gabby.
Oh, you are so very welcome.
I'm really glad that you came. This was
Me
very
too.
It was
interesting.
an honor. I am so grateful to have met you. You are a beautiful and unique soul. Like,
Right? Thank you. Hey guys, you check out my website, www.thebeyond.care.
Go check Gabby out.
Because I do Reiki, the Dreamwalker. I do Theta Healing, where I work with people's energy on the Theta level. My desk doula, grief counselor, ADHD coach.
I love that so much. That's awesome. So what's next to learn?
Yeah, what do you want to do next, Gabby?
I have to think about that. Let's see what comes up.
Yeah, just go with the flow.
Beautiful life, how beautiful you are.